welcome to another fun-filled episode of BlockTalk, everyone. As always, I'm your host, Crypto Nikolai, and today we are joined with the fantastic, the knowledgeable, the sexy, and the proficient in trading Crypto Foxtrot. What's happening?
Hello, 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 my minions. How are you?
What's good with you, man? What's new with you in the world of Crypto Foxtrot?
Woke up today with a little bit of a sore throat, so feeling a little bit under the weather. Hence the terrible cutoff T-shirt. But the people want, and the show must go on. So here I
Well,
am.
I hear that 100%. What I'd like to do is show you something real quick.
Okay.
This is the 7-day change for our coins.
Hmm.
Now, there's a couple noticeable standout things. If we look at the difference between Bitcoin and the rest of the main pack of coins there.
Yeah.
So EOS is at, or excuse me, Bitcoin on the week to week, week to week, 65%, 0.65%. But obviously, the charts tell a different story.
Yeah. Well, I think that reading that 7-day chart might be a little tricky considering that huge pump that we just saw. So really what we're seeing is, a correction in the market. I mean, which was inevitable really. Um, and, I think this pump was due in part, at least in part, to some FUD that was generated around the delisting of Tether as a stable coin. So we saw a huge influx of people selling out of their tether back into Bitcoin and um, other cryptos to, I guess, sort of get out in front of that FUD.
Yeah.
But the
Now,
FUD ultimately was just a rumor, and the CEO of Binance released a statement saying that they are not planning on delisting Tether
yeah.
anytime soon. So it was just one big hoax.
Yeah. And so if you look, this is kind of the reason why we're only seeing that 0.65%
Yeah.
change is because at the beginning of, let's say about here is a week ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, where it is now, it's actually very close to where it is now. But there was a lot of change. We had a bit of a trough here, a bit of a valley,
Yeah.
and then this just monstrous pump.
Yeah. All the way up to 7.4.
This is saying 7.6.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Okay.
keep in mind that that is a tether price.
Yes. Yes.
And as we've seen, because of the slight fall in Tether's value, which has started to bounce back,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if we take a look at the just latest on Tether's price, it's already back up over 98 cents. It's
Great.
coming back.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was bound to come back eventually. FUD like that can only sustain for so long.
Yeah, but truthfully, I was worried. I
I'm
mean,
not
here's the dollar line up here. Yeah, go get you again. So here's the dollar line up here.
Yeah.
And we were trading at 99 cents for a long time, 99.99, and then it just started trending down for some reason, 98, 98, and then on Monday at about midnight
Yeah. It's
until
kind of
about
plummeted.
3 a.m. there was a huge sell-off. We're talking about a stable coin that has basically been equal to the dollar for like ever,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
I mean, that
know.
was their big thing. Being pegged to the U.S. dollar. Um, and
Yeah.
a lot of people were worried that Tether had lost its peg to the U.S. dollar, but um, all we're seeing here is just a massive sell off back into Bitcoin out of Tether. Um, so with any sort of like panic selling, you're going to see some sharp dips like that. And
And one
that's
week,
all it was.
yeah. So just even within that same day, so by 6 p.m. UTC time that day, so from 3 a.m., it
Yeah,
jumped back up from 93 cents to 98 cents and has now kind of, gotten back over to where it is now, which is, right around the 98 cents mark there, slightly climbing back up. So,
yeah,
we're getting back up to where it was. As for the Bitcoin spike, I mean, this spike is very interesting. It's fueled by both speculation in Bitcoin and, um, people fleeing Tether while it was dumping.
yeah,
And so people bought in. Everything pretty much spiked. Not quite as high as some of the other things, but we do see a big spike on pretty much all the big coins here.
yeah, yeah. It was pretty. The boom was pretty widespread. We saw a lot of growth across a lot of different coins, from Bitcoin to Ether. EOS saw a little bit of activity. Ripple saw some. Um,
Yep.
so it wasn't just generalized to Bitcoin. So it was nice to see that little bit of pump, but ultimately, it was due to some FUD. So really, that sort of begs the question, how long are we going to see prices this high?
So, do you think there's going to be a sell off?
I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a sell off. Hopefully we've sort of established the new low here, um, and it can only go up from here. Hopefully, so I would like to see a little bit more of growth, but that's just me being selfish.
Well, I agree with you. I think that we're in for some rough waters. There's a few troubling things that I've been reading. Now this might be flood spread from the Bitcoin Cash camp, which we'll talk
Oh yeah.
about today on how they're kind of moving in the direction they're going. But in terms of the recent thing I heard, the Bitcoin Cash community, either on a Reddit post or just at the BTC.com, main portal,
Hmm.
they basically said, we have been solving the scaling issue that Bitcoin has had for a while now.
Right.
And they show the increase in costs and fees there. It was on Twitter, so I'm gonna have to look back and try to find it here. Um, I mean, the memes are strong today.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. Well, bear with me just 1 second. I'm gonna go get something to drink. My throat is getting scratchy again.
All right, so XRP. This is interesting. So while Foxtrot has run out, the XRP clans are just clamoring here. There's an announcement today at 12 p.m. ZRX is launching at Coinbase.com in the iOS and Android apps within the next 15 minutes. Let's see what that does. Ooh, it's already up. Missed that bus.
All right, sorry about that. Drink has been acquired.
Hey, welcome back. So I was just
Thank you.
checking here on Twitter. Coinbase had an announcement. ZRX is launching at Coinbase.com and the iOS and Android apps in the next 10 minutes. This was at 12 p.m. today.
Okay.
The comments, of course, are pretty hilarious. They're just win XRP, 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 add
Oh yeah.
Zcash, Dogecoin, seriously. And as always, Digibyte, ZRX rocks. We can't
Win
even
Verge.
win Verge. IOTA on Coinbase, ready to dump. Let's go. XRP, please. CRX, Moon. All right, and then I looked over here and look at this bad boy.
Oh yeah.
So this is the 0x BTC chart. A lot of activity, a lot of volume.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely up in terms of purchasing. You can see kind of the comparative amount of purchasing over here. Really just very, very little buys were happening.
Right.
Like for them, a large buy was something to the tune of, 87K. Um, which if we look, let me move you out of the way here. 87K. So if we look at
It's funny to see this that 0x boom like it did because I know people who bought in when it was at like 2 cents.
oh
So
hell yeah.
yeah, they're sitting real pretty right now. Congrats to all of those that bought in at 2 cents.
Yeah, you're looking good. 40 times increase. So good for 0x. We talked about them. I definitely should have had more in my portfolio, at least leading up to today. I'm curious when they made the announcement, what was the initial, if we dial it back. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
So it took 1, 2, 3 hours for the Bears or the Bulls to wake up, and here we are, just big pumps. Um, so that's what's going on with that. I thought that was interesting, but I did not find the article that was talking about. But basically, Bitcoin Cash is working on a scaling solution, and Bitcoin, according to them, is getting left in the dirt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see. Okay.
Okay, here it is. As BTC mempool and fees spike, a reminder that Bitcoin Core #BTC never solved their scaling problems. Bitcoin Cash implemented the fix necessary to prevent this from happening on the BCH chain.
Hmm. See, I like what some of Roger Ver has been saying lately. I just don't like Roger Ver. I cannot get past how much of a child he is. Now I understand, he's got a big personality and he's got big opinions and blah 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 blah. But I mean, ultimately, like if you are a you know frontline individual, you can't be so loud and brash all the time. And that's just what he is. Like he has a lot of attention seeking behavior. Oh, backed, yeah.
Yeah, Backed is another one that I wanted to mention today just because they've really turned it up. Ooh, whoops. All this time we haven't had the smooth jazz. Alright, let's get that back going. I still felt like something was missing. Let me know if the volume on that's too high, too low.
No, you're good. You're good.
Alright. So speaking of Backed, we talked a little bit about Backed in a previous stream, but I wanted to kind of bring our viewers in and talk a little bit about what's coming. So Backed is an exchange platform that is looking to connect crypto to fiat purchasing in the US in a way that hasn't been done yet and could be huge.
Oh yeah.
So they're looking to do Bitcoin futures contracts with fiat currencies, including the USD, British pound, and the euro. So that's kind of the currency market they're looking at right now. Obviously, that could expand later on, but still, that covers big ones.
Oh yeah.
They're looking. There's approval from the It's the Futures Trading Commission.
Yeah.
Um,
The FCTC
yeah, CFTC.
or CFTC. There we go.
Yeah, I don't remember what the first C stands for, but it's basically,
Commodities.
yeah, commodities and futures trading. So they're looking at this as a type of commodity. They're looking at it as purchasable, very similar to how they released the energy market for futures trading. This was done about 10, 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago now. And so you can buy futures in energy, different types of energy development, oil, that kind of thing. And that's been a place where people have really done some gambling in Wall Street. Now, with regards to coins, they can go on and buy futures contracts on crypto. So that'll be huge, and it will have the approval of the government through the U.S. government CFTC, and this could be it's up for approval in November, so 1 month away, and then in December it's going to be released. So if we're talking about a pump,
This is it.
speaking of which,
Something pumping.
well, check for yourself here. I would say quite the opposite.
Correction, yeah.
Um, I'm expecting a correction down to about 12K here.
Well, let's have a look at the old Fibonacci retracement.
Yeah, the thing that's cool about Fibonacci is once you see it once, you can kind of just mentally project it on there. The green zone is at literally 50%. So,
Yeah.
you know that more than likely most pumps, at least half of pumps, we'll say, are going to go to back down to about the halfway point. Um, I think it's fair to assume that this is going to. You see that moving average? It's approaching the moving average now.
Yeah.
It's down to 12.3. Let's see if it makes it all the way down to 12. It might go to like 12.1. It depends on where the bulls step in and say, okay, I want to buy this now.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does. I mean, growth and price will only be dictated by what, bulls determining what they're willing to pay for it. So, come on. Here we go. All right, now we need 0x. Let's have a look.
All right, it's down under 12.3.
Yep.
So, this is an example of where crypto futures contracts buying would be interesting because we look at this and we say, okay, we got the announcement about 0x being listed, so we would be bullish for the short term ahead of that pump. Had we bought the futures contracts of going long on the position on a date with a daily expiration, then we could have sold off up here and made 1,500 sats per.
All right, let me get Fibonacci.
All right, we're back. We're back on a pump. A little reactionary pump here. MACD still looking negative, but the candle is green.
Okay, so according to the Fibonacci retracement, we could see. Yeah, I mean, according to the Fibonacci retracement, it's going to drop back under 12 around 11.9 to 11.7-ish.
Dude, did I call that? I didn't even look at Fibonacci and I said 12K.
Oh yeah, you were spot on with it.
So, looking at this though, I think this is going to be very volatile today. Definitely keep an eye on it if you're looking to do some swing trades.
Yeah, definitely. Set your stop losses, folks.
So, speaking of institutional, actors getting in the game, getting into crypto, we talked about Fidelity a little bit this week.
Yeah.
They're launching a new company that's going to be catered towards larger institutional investors of, providing crypto trading. So I think that's very interesting.
Yeah. Fidelity being a very, very large investment firm. They manage somewhere over $7 trillion in assets.
Yep, 7.3 trillion right now.
Yep. And they also have 13,000 institutional investment clients under that.
Yep.
So, opening up the doors to those institutional investors, to crypto, that's potentially huge. So, I'm very excited to see how that's going to go with Fidelity, especially with opening up the doors, just to their private investors as well, your private consumers, giving them a place to manage their crypto assets on the Fidelity platform. That's big news. That's big tuna. Ready for the tuna pump. Yeah, me too, man.
We got our mods drifting in here. Ready for the old tuna pump. I didn't actually see the other two messages show up on my OBS for some reason, but I'm seeing them now. Win Lambo and Roger Ver is a poon. Oh man, letting the old biases come back. But it looks like we might have bounced off the 12,250 line and are headed back north.
Yeah. Very interesting. That's that volatility we were talking about. The FOMO is real. I'm not even logged in, so I can't do any trading.
Whoa, Dogecoin's at 76 sats now?
Are you serious?
Hold on, let me double check that.
That's insane.
I don't think it's right. It's Twitter. I think they're full of shit. Oh, they are right. 76 cents. Damn. Well, time to scoop more.
Maybe.
Bad week for Doge. Actually, really kind of just a bad... Wasn't a corresponding spike on the... like there was on the other currencies related to Tether. So Tether, Dogecoin must not be a very big trading pair.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay. Well, yep, 76 sats. Got trust in the Twitter. Come on, ZeroX. You gotta slow down here before I can get in. It might level out for a while. Hard to say.
I mean, right now, looking at the Fibonacci retracement.
Look at the 5-minute candle. I mean, you can't buy that.
No, not at all.
I mean, right?
No, that's just gross.
That's just asking to get cucked.
Oh yeah.
And that's the thing that makes me wary about this stuff. And what I've noticed about in the past on trading, when you go into a like a second buy-in,
Right.
So the second buy-in is usually after that first pump, and you're feeling lucky. You made some money on the first pump, and then now you're in there. You're on the second pump. You're like, all right, I want it to pump again, and then what happens? It retraces.
Yeah.
So that second pump is not a tuna pump.
No.
It's a guppy pump, if anything.
Very true.
So, all right. Let's take a look here. So while we watch the drama unfold of that, I did want to kind of come back to something I mentioned earlier. So we saw the mempool increases for Bitcoin. Now, I don't think that's lethal, but I think that is significant and is trending in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
It affects scalability and affects things like that. Well, Bitcoin Cash developers finally getting off their ass and doing something. They have been working on a lightweight wallet called Token Shuffle. And what Token Shuffle is it allows privacy for your transactions, through and from this wallet by using tech. It's Coin Shuffle tech. So it allows you to basically, it takes the transactions that you have and shuffles it over to another block or another node or something like that. I'm not 100% on the tech of how it happens, but basically it shuffles it so that your transactions are completely anonymous.
Okay, so that basically works the same way as like a Bitcoin wallet address Tumblr does.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, except for the specific transactions. So you can
Yeah.
still have the stability of having your wallet there. All right, well, we're mooning.
Yeah, it's bouncing off that moving average there. It's just pushing up, pushing and pushing.
So what do you think about Bitcoin Cash?
Okay. See, I'm kind of torn on how I feel about Bitcoin Cash lately. Um, that tweet that Jimmy Song released a couple weeks ago, which basically advocated using crypto to pay off credit card statements.
It was pay for something with the credit card and then take out money as you make it and pay it back off with crypto. It was
Yeah,
basically
see,
taking a short-term loan of credit and risking it into the crypto market.
yeah, see, that is just wildly absurd to consider.
It's bad
Um,
advice. I mean, I'll tell you from having, dabbled in that a bit. Basically, unless you get the pump right away,
yeah,
then you're basically sitting there just racking up interest, you're racking up fees, and the cash doesn't go anywhere.
right. And, crypto right now is very much a speculative investment. So why would anybody think that it's acceptable to risk your, credit card spending limits and how much you're going to have to pay back on a speculative investment like that? Which is why a lot of credit card companies started banning Coinbase purchases.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people were maxing out their credit cards, buying crypto, and then just saying, screw it, I'm not going to pay this bill. Maybe Bitcoin will save me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And that's just terrible advice. And for somebody like Jimmy Song to say that, Jimmy Song being one of the key developers over at the Bitcoin Core camp, that is just very, very stupid. So, I mean, it's as much as I hate to say it, and as much as I hate Roger Ver, a lot of what he's saying is starting to make more and more sense about how, Bitcoin Cash is the true Bitcoin.
Well, now he says that. Let's give some context for the listeners here. Why would he say that the hard fork is the true Bitcoin? Well, the reason is because in the original white paper of kind of Bitcoin by Satoshi Nakamoto, the vision of what Bitcoin would be of a feeless money mover basically is what Bitcoin Cash has stayed true to. Whereas Bitcoin is now seen, we know Bitcoin's not feeless because Bitcoin responds to the pressure of the network, and if there's too many transactions or if this mempool, again, I'm gonna deep dive into this for our next stream because I'm curious at how how lethal a statistic this is. It could be nothing. Or it could be a sign of things to come. It could be a scalability issue so severe they might have to hard fork like Ether's doing. But as we've seen, the Ether hard fork absolutely not happening in 2018.
Right. Yeah. There was a developer over at Ethereum who did release a statement saying that the Constantinople hard fork would not be occurring in 2018, and this is due in part to some of the difficulties they were having on the test net earlier. No, it was late last week. They were having some issues on the Ropsten test network. I put a tweet out, I think last week, saying that as an Ethereum fanboy, the Constantinople hard fork being delayed is actually kind of like a relief.
Okay, so you're looking at it as maybe they weren't ready for it,
no,
kind of thing.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I think that the failure on the Robston test network was kind of proof of that they're not ready for that, because this is a big, big, daunting transition from proof of work over to proof of stake, and there's a lot that can go wrong, and a lot did go wrong.
Yeah, they ran into issues building any kind of consensus on the new network. And I can't help but think that it's, a technical glitch that was so large and so unforeseen that they may not be ready to roll this out ever. And with Vitalik Buterin stepping away,
Yep.
At least from the day to day and more in the vision and future side of things, I think that's bad news for Ethereum.
Yeah, no, it's very, very bad news. And the technical difficulty you were referring to was the miners mined up all the way to block 4,299,999. The hard fork was due to implement at block 4.3 million.
Right.
And it ran right into that wall, and the miners could not reach a consensus on that 4.3 millionth block. So, I mean, that could be a technical difficulty, or maybe that just says we don't want this.
Well, I don't think that I think it was more on the glitch side of things. I don't think there was a willingness by a group of miners who were saying, we're out. We're no longer going to do this.
But see, as a miner, why wouldn't you want to step out of this?
You might, and you probably would want to, but you're going on the test net, so these are people who are, already kind of dedicated to testing and stuff like that. So it's unlikely that they're gonna, self-select out at that point. Hey, we got a new follower, Red Rum 1993. Thank you so much for the follow, man. We appreciate you. So we're talking about Ethereum and the future, and I think that Ethereum's going to be eclipsed. I think that it had its run, it had its attempt to be the number one platform, and it has been, and it was. We see that it's no longer the number one in terms of transactions. I think Ripple and Bitcoin are higher than they are.
Yes. Oh yeah, big news for Ripple. With the 2020 Olympics official currency petition.
Mm-hmm. Any update on that?
Yeah, we could see some solid activity leading up to the Summer Olympics of 2020. At least, hopefully we will. I don't know if we'll ever see $3 Ripple again. But, one can hope, right?
Here's the change.org petition.
Oh, hell yeah.
13.3 thousand.
Out of how many?
15,000.
Oh my god, so close. So close. Drop the link in the stream chat there.
Yeah, for those of you who want to sign up and show your support for crypto, here's the change.org petition. And this is something that I think would be really good for the crypto ecosystem. It'd be good for the folks who are there at the Olympics. It would be good for Ripple as a company. So overall, this is very good. And another thing about Ripple that I think needs to be stated: there's a reason that Ripple is popular with the president. Okay. Now I'm gonna drop some bombshells here. I know you think that I'm just obsessed with Ripple, and the viewers out there might agree. But let me tell you something about Ripple. Ripple is not subject to some of the same mining pool issues that Bitcoin and Ether have. Bitcoin and Ether are essentially owned by the mining pool, which is the majority in China. Yeah. Now, you might make a case that they're not actually owned by the miners, but the fact is the miners hold a significant percentage of the network hostage, and they could, in effect, crash it if they wanted to. That's control. What is control over something? The ability to destroy it.
Yeah, I mean, there's always been an argument over, whether or not Bitcoin could be viewed as an oligarchic currency, meaning that only the rich and powerful control the price of it. The rich and the powerful in this case being the miners, and those are the guys that typically that pull the strings, call the shots. So, I mean, to me, I mean, the argument does hold some weight because not everybody is able to go out and buy thousands of dollars worth of ASICs and begin mining Bitcoin. So the argument could be made that only those who are mining control the power or control the price of it. But Ripple sort of being exempt to those sort of rules and guidelines and stuff, and now that they're pushing into making or petitioning to making XRP the official crypto of the Tokyo Olympics, that is absolutely groundbreaking. Nothing like that has ever been done before. So this is a huge opportunity for Ripple as well as all of the crypto community to literally make history here.
Yeah. So change.org, International Olympic Committee, get this petition to them. And we've seen, in Beijing 2008, Rio de Janeiro 2016, major issues with lines, exchange rate, language barriers. The fast transaction times of security of Ripple would be a great contribution towards solving this problem. And the fact that they have the tech already to do it. I mean, you just download XRapid and you can shoot the cash over, easy peasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ripple has now moved into the second position in transactions, so really moving ahead of Ethereum. Ethereum is just down, and honestly, Bitcoin is even lower.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin, with that many active addresses, that's a testament to both its age as well as, here, I'm going to move you down a little bit. So, the age of the coin has just been around for a long time, but the lower number of transactions indicate it's much more of a store of value, and that's really not the vision of Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto had, which is why Bitcoin Cash says, hey, we're in it to be the original Bitcoin. You do what you want.
Yeah. And, like you said, this, speaks to its efficacy, and it's old. It's getting old, and it's clunky, and it's hard to move around. It's slow. It's expensive, and Bitcoin Cash is relatively cheap to move around, and it's not, dare I say it, overvalued. As some people may say, Bitcoin is overvalued, and Bitcoin Cash and other cryptos are overvalued as well. As we saw that last year when we pumped from 5K all the way to 19K, almost 20K.
Yeah.
Last year was a terrible overvaluation year for crypto, but in light of that, people did make a lot of money, especially if you got in at rock bottom prices.
Well, yeah, I mean, people made money on it, and it was overbought, but there were reasons for a big sell-off as well. I mean, there was a combination of FUD and other things like that, so there's a combination of being overbought and all that. But now, I wanted to compare something for you here. Bitcoin. Someone moved 30K Bitcoin, so worth $194 million for fees of 10 cents.
Interesting. And how did they manage to pull that off?
The transaction was most likely only $5,400, and the remainder sent to a changed address back to himself. It's also possible the other way around, but unlikely. Nevertheless, would have been the same.
So false hype.
Well, it's hard to say if this was truly a test because it was moved, but total output, basically 29,999,999 Bitcoins.
Yeah.
So interesting. So with banks, for example, it would cost at least $7,500 to process $1 million. That's on TransferWise, which is lower than even wire transfer. So 194 million moved. The thing is it seems like it's not really moving. But let's see. I mean, they're kind of hopeful the Lightning Network can get taken off the ground. It'll help. Average transaction fee. Yeah. I mean, it's there. It's. So I wonder if the fees that are here are generated based off of this estimated BTC transacted, because I have the feeling that they would be more.
Yeah. No, I mean I've moved less Bitcoin for much more expensive.
Yeah.
So
Even
I
less
don't know,
than less than 83 million sats.
I don't see how that's even remotely possible.
Yeah, I don't know about this article. I think it's kind of misleading. Let's see, there's some comments here now. Yeah, there aren't any comments on it. It's just kind of spam.
I mean, we saw some more false hype coming out of the Tron camp.
Yes, that's right.
About their big partnership, their big blockchain partnership with Baidu, which actually just ended up being rented cloud server space.
Yeah.
A little misleading there,
yeah.
Justin Sun.
Big partnership of tens of billions of dollars, and that's Justin Sun for you. He likes to exaggerate. He likes to get out there and have big, bold claims. The Chinese like it. They eat it up, but
yeah. But I think we're very much in a space to where false hype like that just has no place whatsoever. But there's always people that are going to abuse it, and I'm kind of disappointed to see that Justin Sun, being such a forward thinker, post something like that. It's very disheartening to see, because Tron, as it is now, to me anyway, is a very undervalued coin. With some of the advancements they're making, especially with the acquisition of BitTorrent. So for him to make some big bold claim like we're forming a tens of billions of dollars worth of partnerships with Baidu, when all you're doing is just renting some cloud server space. Oh.
Well.
Wow.
Well, we as we sat here and gabbed, the price of 0x continued to rise.
Right.
It's now at 88 cents.
Nice.
Just 85 cents.
That's crazy.
Yeah, solid movement. Again, the 5-minute chart just looks crazy.
Yeah.
15-minute chart.
To the moon, baby.
It's incredible. So, anyway, is it time to buy now? What do you think?
I
mean, we sat here at 12.5 and asked the same question.
You could buy it and kind of hope that it goes up, but I'd like to see it get a little more closer to the moving average before considering buying in. But, the way it's looking now, it could just keep on trucking. Eastbound and down.
What if it goes to $1.10? And we're sitting here talking about it at 88 cents.
Wow, like 30 cents per, 20 cents per? That'd be nuts.
Volume is tapering down.
Yeah.
And that is a bearish indicator. When volume tapers down, that tends to favor the sellers, and so that generally leads to lower prices. I think we're going to see a downward trend here. I think
Yeah.
people are going to take their profits that they've been accumulating along this uptick.
Oh,
Man,
most definitely.
wish I had been wish I had been paying a little bit more close attention to that. I definitely would have bought in and then just let it ride. But oh well. Day one listings always interesting.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
got a comment here in the stream chat from Phi Knight. Um, at Block Talk, opinion on ZRX buy and sell choices. Okay. Um, we were just talking about it. Since Zero X is kind of mid pump right now, it's going to be really, really hard to figure out a solid buy in point. Um,
well, let's go ahead and just use some analysis to give some just brief suggestions. Again, keep in mind that whatever we suggest here is going to be our just opinions only and not investment advice. So,
right.
looking at this, if you take the whole pump altogether, which I don't think is reasonable because you take the Coinbase factor. So let's look at where it had support. So it had support back here. So if we talk about a pump from here at 12.2, if we trace Fibonacci up to this 13.3, then we're down to about, the midway point would be a full retracement of that second pump would be about 12.8. It is approaching 12.8 right now, so definitely it is in this retracement phase, which means it's
Yeah.
on its way back down. It's correcting from this big pump. Now, as we saw here, we had about 5 or 6, 7 solid minutes of growth, so the markets could still be there, but we're going to need the volume to be up. So if you don't own any ZRX right now, don't buy. Let it correct down because we're seeing that correction that I was just talking about.
Yeah.
Then also, if you own ZRX, sell off now and wait for the dip to continue.
Absolutely.
Before we had talked about a 12K target for buy-in, so 12K is a good target. On this recent pump, I would definitely look for it to flatten out here somewhere maybe around the 12,750. About
That
roughly
seems reasonable. Yeah.
roughly halfway up this pump here. So those are kind of the price targets for the short term. This is the using 1 minute candles and on a span of a day. Now, if you look at 5 minute candles, it still seems to be on the up and up. It is trending downward though. It's trending downward, and
Yeah.
unless we get some major positive volume, it will continue to decline.
Yeah.
Um, Again, if you zoom out even further, it's very difficult to make a buy assessment because we're above the top Bollinger Band here, and we've been so for four candles, 5 candles now. So that's usually my indicator to go and sell.
Yeah. Right now we are, considering that we've blown through the Bollinger Bands for the last few candles. Right now, Zero X is looking wildly overbought.
Well,
Um,
it's correcting down, so I
yeah.
mean
Yeah.
it's
So
it's major
it
sell
is
off.
crazy correcting down. So what's going to happen here is it's either going to run into that bottom Bollinger Band, which indicates being oversold, and bounce off of it, or it could just keep going back down to our targeted area around 12K.
Yeah,
Um,
we saw that it already has passed the 750 retracement line, and that's a
yep.
pretty significant one. So that was at about the 50% mark. Now we're getting deeper. Now if we have to draw our retracement from back down here, and that's where we're looking at. I would say in this realm here, the 12,000, 1250.
12, 12.3 to 12.
Okay, so 12.3, right around this line here of
See,
support.
I'll share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at here. Share screen two. Share. So this is kind of what we're looking at here.
Yep. Okay, so we're on
So
5 minutes here. We're on 5 minute candles.
yep, we're looking at 5 minute candles. So with a Fibonacci retracement, you're going to want to measure from the lowest point of the chart, which is a little further back this way. It's kind of out of view here. But I measured from back there up until the highest point, which I had to just readjust because the price kept pumping there. So we're going to look for it to return to this green area here, and that's going to be a full retracement. So we're going to be looking at maybe 12,000 to about 12,300 sats, thereabouts. Now, there is a chance it could just plummet straight through this because, what goes up must come down.
But it's unlikely, and given that there's the listing on ZRX now, it's on Coinbase, that's very exciting. I want to actually check real quick to see if Coinbase does have it on their web app.
Okay.
Hey, 0x.
Nice. I'm gonna go get some more water. My throat will not relent.
Okay, no problem. So what I wanted to talk about, kind of expanding on that question here just a little bit, is, beyond the trading for the short term. So right now we've kind of addressed it from a trading point of view, but what about trading? What about holding and believing in the project? I mean, they just announced, they had just featured it on Coinbase here. Let me go back to that. So you can just now get 0x. Now, what is special about 0x? Well, 0x is a protocol, very lightweight protocol. It is designed to allow you to trade low-cost Ethereum tokens from your wallet. Now, how that works, I'm not sure. 0x wallet. So let's take a look here. 0x, powering decentralized exchange for everything.
All right.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you. Sorry about that. My throat is just kicking my ass today. Yeah, Finite. I hope that kind of answers your questions on 0x in terms of picking out a good buy point. At this point, it's really tough to say because, it is correcting hardcore right now. Almost 1,000 sats worth of correction. So yeah, just be very, very careful. Be careful. Don't buy mid-pump. Buy during a dip. Use your stop losses. Use them wisely.
I don't remember my MetaMask password. I'll have to look around for that. Alright, well, anyway, 0x. So we were talking about this, and, on ZRX, we talked about it from a trading point of view.
Right.
So, does it make sense to buy 0x right now? And it actually just bumped. So, it has plateaued here at the bottom and looks like it has some support there at the 12.4K line. And now is starting to trend back. So we could see some positive movement here. But in terms of overall utility and believing in the project, using it, that kind of stuff, do you think that it's worth buying some 0x?
Well, see, okay, 0x is a very, very powerful platform that exchanges are being built on. Coinbase Pro being one of those. exchanges that were built on the 0x protocols. So naturally, it only makes sense for Coinbase to list 0x as an asset there.
Now it's very decentralized.
Yes, very, very, which is key, which is absolutely key.
Now the decentralized part here looks like you connect your MetaMask wallet, and then you get on one of these relays here, and then you trade. So you're not actually directly interacting like with an exchange like you would with Binance.
Right. But looking at the chart here, on the 1 minute, just circling back a bit, it does look like it bounced off that bottom Bollinger Band and it's just steady going.
Yep. It made it down to the green zone.
Yeah.
Just barely to the green zone, and that was our target for buy. And should have bought it. But instead I was sitting here gabbing about 0x.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, get your MetaMask and connect, and then you'll be able to interact with the 0x protocol, which allows you to basically buy and sell Ether tokens into your wallet directly.
Yeah.
So very exciting. Now it's on Coinbase. We do see some volatility, but not that much.
Yeah, it's not wildly volatile, but enough to make some decent profits on.
Yeah.
If you're careful.
Well, we already gave you the buy-in option there at about 12.2, 12.3. But you can see that the bears are just back in force.
Yeah.
Just look at that. Look at that candle. I think that's just indicating that the buy book was very sparsely filled because the volume's very not that high.
Right.
Relatively speaking on it, and it's a large candle, so it just kind of like slammed its way through. So that's 0x. And then, one thing that I wanted to bring up, you like to talk about Ethereum.
Sure.
Well, how about that recent development that we had? DocuSign, a major signature and kind of a storage and delivery service there. They moved to they moved on to Ether. What do you think of that?
Yeah, no, I think that's great. DocuSign has been around for quite some time. They're one of the world's foremost e-signature platforms online for signing various documents.
Oh yeah, contracts, anything, employment contract, everything, checks, you name it.
Yeah, DocuSign, VeriSign, they're all essentially all the same. But I think it's great that they are offering, or they decided to move forward with the Ethereum blockchain and store their data on that blockchain. That way, data accessibility and integrity is super quick. It's super secure. And that is a very good use case for moving to the blockchain, keeping your signature as well as important documents and contracts and things of that nature secure and accessible at just about any time, even if part of the server goes down. So yeah, I think that's a great move. That's a very smart move.
Yeah, I think it's a good, quiet but useful attempt for just basic adoption. I mean, adoption doesn't have to look like everyone swiping a nano ledger at the supermarket. Adoption can happen in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And Verge Pornhub subs.
Right. Which I've still got 142 years left on my sub, so
hell yeah,
it's gonna be around long after I'm gone. Unless I go into cryo state and pull a Futurama and just put my head in a jar,
There you go. Worst case scenario, you could just leave it in your will to your kids.
Oh yeah. Oh, Grandpa has a porn sub?
What?
What's Pornhub, Dad? Well,
we're on some VR shit. Like,
yeah.
what even is Pornhub?
Yeah, exactly, dude. Pornhub's going to be forgotten by history, but it'll be an interesting footnote because they did implement Verge, which is, pretty much the first time crypto has been accepted for porn, unless you count the back alley Doge payments that you paid for your HJ there. But
Oh my god.
anyway, but all back alley ZJs aside, I did want to say that I'm glad that people are coming back around on crypto. We have a decent amount of folks tuning in today, which is real nice to see. I think there's some growing interest. Q4 should be because of Backed, because of ETF, because of other announcements that are happening. Should be a good quarter for crypto.
Yeah, the ETF decision is only 10 days away now. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in light of all that. I am still not hopeful for ETF in 2018.
Nope.
Maybe next year.
No, it's not going to happen, but we are going to get backed. And when backed comes in, it's going to be big. And what that's going to do is going to drive demand, and when it drives demand, that drives the price up. And we're going to see 0x at $1. We're going to see Ether at 250. We're going to see Bitcoin at 8K stable. These are my price predictions for post backed.
Oh yeah.
So
that's not unreasonable to think that.
Yeah. So cash in where you can. I think Ripple could head up towards 80 cents.
What? No $3 Ripple?
Not yet. Once the Tokyo Olympics come around, though, I guarantee you.
Yeah, that'll be a big year for Ripple. 2020 is going to be a crazy year. That'll also be the year that John McAfee eats his dick on national TV.
Well, unless Bitcoin moons.
Well, we know that's not going to happen. Not to the price point that he's talking about.
Well, speaking of Ripple, there's a nice price bump right here. Just over the past 10 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, I was going to buy in on some Ripple today. I was feeling optimistic about the signatures in the Olympics. And they are continuing to go up. Check our Discord for the link if you missed it, or here in chat, and you'll be able to participate.
Yeah. Don't wait to sign that petition. I mean, I know I've already signed it. I don't know if you have already.
Not yet, but I'm definitely going to.
Yeah, this is a chance to be a part of cryptocurrency history here, folks. Don't miss your chance.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely groundbreaking.
All right. I'm just going to submit my signature right now.
There you go. Good stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so we are seeing a little bit of a tapering down on 0x there. It looks like it's kind of bounced off the moving average a couple times there. It's headed right down to the 50% retracement. Closing in. So ultimately what I would like to see is approach 50% retracement and perhaps bounce off of it. I don't think we're going to see a large bounce off of the retracement.
On 0x?
Yeah, we may get maybe a couple hundred sats out of a retracement bounce there.
Oh, man.
But there is definitely there is a lot of sell pressure being locked in right now. The
Well,
depth chart just looks absolutely disastrous.
oh yeah. Well, just got kind of cleared out.
Yeah, and that's what happens. When there's a lot of
Well, what's
price
happening is
action.
it's selling. It's selling off. That's why the book
Yeah,
can't catch up.
people locking in profits from earlier. But I mean, if we watch the depth chart here, I mean, we can see some buy orders fill in.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a 4 Bitcoin order right now at 12.29.
yep.
So possible decent entry point right now, but just keep in mind that there's not a lot of enthusiasm for buying right now. That
No.
enthusiasm has passed, so I would wait it out. Try to catch the next pump.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, are you? Let me ask you this. Generally, we
Okay.
mentioned DocuSign.
Right.
DocuSign, you know, not the biggest company out there, but people know who they are.
Hmm.
You know, people are saying like, okay, I've used DocuSign before. I'm going to get involved on the Ethereum blockchain. I'm going to go
Okay.
check out where my signature is.
Whew.
Do you think that this step is a step in the right direction in terms of adoption for Ethereum, or do you think this is kind of like a novelty, too little, too late, that people are going to move away from Ether?
Okay. So I think the use case for putting DocuSign on the blockchain is great. I mean, it makes total sense. But I worry that it's going to be overshadowed by Constantinople. So that would sort of
Okay,
be like the too little, too late
so
for it.
Constantinople not going to be firing off until next year.
Right. But it's still a dark cloud that's looming over us. So I don't know. Maybe it is too little, too late. It's hard to say. It really is. Excuse me.
All right, we have an update on Ethereum 2.0 Casper and Sharding development from 4 hours ago.
Okay. Let's see what we got.
Now, this may not be that informative, but this is straight from the horse's mouth. This is from Prismatic Labs, who is working on Ethereum 2.0.
Yep.
This is a little outside my pay grade, unfortunately.
Right, right.
But really interesting stuff. You can, if you're interested in following the coding of everything, um, do this. Go to the Ethereum subreddit and dial into the Medium articles and things that are on there. You can actually catch up here and learn about it.
Yeah.
Um,
GitHub is another good place to do that too. Or just coding in general. Twitter up a nice 5% today.
Is it?
Yeah, over $30.
Hey. Nice. You on Robinhood?
Yeah, I just got a little alert here from them.
Do you have a position in Twitter?
I do not. I do not.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think overall it's been an interesting day. Nice little ZRX pump.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, 0x. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be hard to kind of turn that around. I mean, there's still just so much sell pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Exactly. Everyone's pissed off because they bought in at 11. Now they're trying to sell at 12.
Yep. Yep.
All this buy pressure, dude. What if you bought in up here? What if you were some of these people who were buying in?
Well, you want to know what I call that? Cucked.
Yep. They are super cucked.
I'm just getting all sorts of Robinhood alerts today. Let's see what's going on here.
Robinhood is a nice alternative if you're looking for some place to trade on some stocks and light crypto trading. There are some limits on the number of transactions you can do within the same day.
Yeah,
as
3
I
per
understand.
day.
So you can buy in and sell out one time a day.
Yeah. Let's see. Netflix earning announcements. Netflix announced quarterly earnings of 89 cents per share, beating expectations by 31%.
Nice.
Twitter is up 5% to $30.05 after hours. Netflix is up 6.5% to $354.75 after hours.
Beautiful.
So nice little stock market movement there. Not a
Hell
bad
yeah.
thing.
Hell yeah. Well, I mean that's exciting. Definitely some movement there. The main markets have been down for a few weeks,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
that's to be expected too from just breaking all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. Just because
that
of
kind
the
of growth is just not sustainable for very long.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's going to be natural correction, but we can still be up and we can still be making money.
Sure.
I mean, this is Trump's America, where anyone can get out there and roll the dice in the stock market and make money.
Yeah, make America great again.
That's right. That's right. Speaking of which, what do you think of old Kemp versus that Adams or whatever he's going to have to travel against for the governor's race?
Kemp versus Stacey Abrams.
Abrams, that's right. That's what it is.
Yeah. I don't really know. There are things about both candidates that I like and dislike. I know we're less than a month away from the midterm election, which is actually going to be on my birthday, so that'll be fun. Waiting.
Are you going to go vote?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know it.
Good.
So I don't know. I'll have to do more research. I tend to be very open with my political beliefs.
Yeah.
I'm very libertarian.
Here's the poll results coming in just most recently, from early October, late September. Kemp's got a 2 point edge, but margin of error is at least that much, if not more. So it's a toss-up.
Yep. And Kemp did overtake Abrams. There was like a 6-point gap there between Kemp and Abrams back in the last couple months.
Yeah, looking at July, there were a couple of polls there that put Abrams up.
Yep. But one of the most important things to me is Second Amendment rights. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a very outspoken proponent and supporter of the Second Amendment. I am a very large firearms advocate. Let me rephrase that. I'm a very large responsible use of firearms advocate.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that believe that 18-year-olds shouldn't be able to go out and buy AR-15s on a whim. There's no reason an 18-year-old is going to need an AR-15. So I'm a big supporter of raising that minimum age to 21 to purchase an assault rifle. But other than that, I do advocate the safe and responsible use of firearms. I do support open carry of firearms.
Right.
Um, so I don't think that Stacey Abrams is going to be accommodating to that. So I'm a little worried about that. Also, Stacey Abrams recently she absconded, or not absconded, what abstained from a vote that allowed sexual predators to live within school areas. So that's a little worrisome there.
So she abstained from a vote that would keep like known sex offenders, registered sex offenders, from living near schools.
Yes.
Well, she must have been hanging out with the sex predator lobby then, because that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who her, her campaign contributors are, but I don't. This is a total joke, and it might be a terrible joke, but it'd be funny to see if NAMBLA, National Association of Man Boy Love, to show up on her donor list.
Right.
But I don't know. We'll see what happens next month. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know who I'm going to vote for. So, I mean, we'll see. And Brian Kemp is actually an Athens native, for those who didn't know that.
Let's see
So yeah, he is very big in small business. And he was the Georgia Secretary of State. So he's very, very business minded.
Abrams includes illegal immigrants in blue wave, files lawsuit to count their votes in Georgia.
Yeah. There's also a bit of concern, or I think that Abrams actually filed a lawsuit against Kemp for voter exclusion. But I don't think they've actually delivered any proof of that yet, so we'll see. Look at that gap. Sorry, that was terrible.
Dude, I know. Gun safety. You'll like this.
Let's see. Common sense gun reforms to enable responsible use and protect Georgia.
You were just talking about responsible things. Universal background checks, repeal of campus carry, and extreme risk protection.
Nope. You lost me at campus carry. I'm sorry. Nope. Can't do it. Universal background checks. Okay, I'm good with that. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but, ultimately it makes sure that guns end up in responsible gun owners' hands.
Yeah, I mean, it keeps felons from getting weapons, which, generally speaking, I'm okay with.
Yeah. Campus carry, though, I've been to college, and I understand why it's a concern, because we've seen university campus shootings before.
Right.
With Virginia Tech, there was one at most recently. I can't remember, unfortunately.
Now, do you think that the campus carry provision is there to reduce anxiety from triggered people, or do you think it's to prevent a lone wolf from bringing a gun, in which case would he care about the law in the first place?
Right, okay. So if there is like a quote-unquote lone wolf shooter, odds are he's probably not going to care that
there's a carry law. Yeah.
And there's a little bit of confusion around the campus carry laws here in Georgia. Campus carry does not mean that you as a college student can walk into any campus building with a 9mm strap on your hip. That is not what the campus carry law says. Campus carry means that you are able to bring a firearm onto campus provided that it is unloaded and locked and secured in your vehicle. So you can't physically bring the gun.
So it's just in your car.
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at. Let's take a look at jobs.
Okay.
She's trying to raise Georgia's minimum wage. Georgia's the last, is like last in the country in terms of minimum wage. I'm pretty sure.
Is what, like $7.25?
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Well, you also have to consider that if you raise the minimum wage, the cost of products goes up as well.
So it's $7.25 US, which is what we use. So here's minimum wages. Georgia says 5.15, so this is a little bit out of date.
Yeah, 5.15 was like back in the, oh man, like I was working at Subway for 5.15 an hour. That was back in like 2008, 2009.
Well, this table below reflects current state minimum wages. But the federal is up to 7, so that supersedes it.
Yeah.
Still, though, very interesting that some have gone on higher.
See, well, I'm curious. What's California's minimum wage?
11 right now, and then starting next year, it'll be 12, 13, 14, 15. DC's up to 15. DC's 13.25 minimum wage.
And then what's the cost of living in those areas?
It's high. It's very high to live in DC.
I mean, there is definitely a correlative relationship there. Areas with higher minimum wages tend to be areas with higher costs of living. If you go to California and you go buy a gallon of gas, you're looking at spending well over $3 a gallon. Here in Georgia, gas is, well below $3 a gallon, and our minimum wage is lower. So, I'm concerned that by raising the minimum wage, the cost of products and services will go up, the cost of living will go up, and that's not something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, but that extra cost is only an issue if you're unemployed, because if you're employed in any capacity making anything from the minimum wage up to where it would be projected to increase, then you're getting more than enough money to cover those increases in costs. So there's that. And then the argument that it's going to affect businesses, by increasing the costs and therefore causing them to lower hours or produce less things or something like that. There's merit to that, but I think it's a small amount that people are looking to lose there. So
yeah, which, I mean, it's like we saw with Amazon doing their $15 an hour minimum wage. I feel like people weren't getting the full story on that, because yes, Amazon did raise their minimum wage to $15 an hour, but hours were also cut all across the board as well as benefits. So there's a trade-off to be had there.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Now, I looked for corroboration of that online. I didn't see a lot, so that was coming from someone that who works
Yeah, it works
for
at
a
Amazon.
for an actual Amazon plan. So very interesting. It's not getting reported in the media. I hesitate to say it, but it might be fake news that everything's all. All right,
Yeah,
just got Twitter. Okay.
everything isn't what it seems.
Right. Well, um, politics is an interesting thing. I mean, there's definitely arguments on both sides, and
Sure.
but thinking nationally, I don't think Democrats are going to be able to stop Trump.
No, no, not this time.
He's
Not
just
this
got
time.
he's just got too much. I mean that list that I don't know if you read the list that Jr. sent out. It was like I think it was on Facebook. It was like absurdly long of the list of things that Trump has done.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, it was a lot for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Well,
All
Zero X
right.
moving again.
Yep. It did a nice little bounce off of uh,
12.2.
12.3. Yep. I'm looking at 1 minute chart here. It hit retracement, 50% retracement at about 4:15. Bounced or came back up into the yellow zone here, and then there was one deep candle that pushed it back down to about 12.3
Mm-hmm.
and rebounded from there. So kind of playing out like I thought it would.
Yeah, it's probably just going to range trade in between the Bollinger Bands for a while. I think people are adopting a wait and see on it.
Yeah, most definitely.
Nice double pump here on Ripple.
I'm gonna go refill my water one last time.
Just chugging it.
Dude, I gotta stay hydrated, man. My throat.
Mm-hmm. Well, right now we're just seeing a little bit of price action.
All right.
Ah, welcome
Got
back.
got my agua. Thank you.
There we go. Well, it's been an interesting day of trading.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Some small movement here and there on the USDT. I'm kind of glad to see USDT is coming back.
Yeah, definitely. I know a lot of people are getting a little worried about it, but personally, I'm not worried. Not worried at all. EOS looking a little flat.
Yeah, we got to zoom out to see
Yeah.
any kind of movement there. That's just range trading too. 558,
Mm-hmm.
549, so about 9 cents up and down there. Well, we need to get some cat girls in here, spice this thing up, something. Well, that covers all the news items that I had. Let me see any other items. We said DocuSign. We talked about Token Shuffle. So let me just get your general opinion here. If the Token Shuffle wallet project does end up working out and gets released on schedule in 1 to 2 months from now, will your opinion of B Cash change?
Um, to be honest, like in order to sway my opinion on B Cash, aka B Trash, as I've been known to call it
I
before.
was avoiding saying B Trash just to have an objective question.
But yeah, okay. So speaking objectively, um, I would need to trial it first and sort of demo it to see what I think about it. Just kind of wait for the reviews of it to kind of start shuffling in.
Yeah.
So until I see I am able to mess around with it, I'll reserve my judgment on whether or not I'll be continuing to call Bitcoin Cash B trash or not. But I don't know. Like I keep like with all the stuff that Jimmy Song has been talking about, and some of the we'll just call it noise that Roger Ver has been making. Um, I don't know. I mean, there could be finally some good changes to Bitcoin Cash coming around, and I mean, we'll just have to wait and see for when the shuffle is implemented and see if the anonymity factor holds up and holds any weight. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I agree, but I like your approach on it. You're saying, hey, let's take a wait and see. Let's see if this project actually does something, if it's useful, if it's implemented. I mean, we're talking about Ripple being the coin of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, but what if it was Bcash?
Yeah.
If people were using Bcash, I mean, that would just do wonders for it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think as many different cryptos that can jump onto that sort of bandwagon would be great. Giving people that diversity of choice.
Yeah.
Rather than just being limited to Ripple. Not saying being limited to Ripple is a bad thing or detrimental, because Ripple is fast, it's light, it's secure, and it's cheap to move around. But I think people should have whatever choice they want to move around. That's just the libertarian side of me piping up. Let the people have what they want.
Well, yeah, let the market decide,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In any case, I mean, the next couple years for crypto will be very interesting. Well, it'll be an interesting ride, that's for sure. And I'm very anxious to wait and see how it all pans out.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of possible news items coming up. We've got, like you said, Backed. We've got, we've got a lot coming, and who knows? Who knows where prices are going to go? Are we at the end of the bubble, as Butarian suggests, and just heading down into negative territory? Are we heading down to 6K?
That's hard to say at this point. I mean, I don't know. I don't think anybody can really say at this point. I mean, I know Vitalik Buterin is a very forward thinker, but I mean, even he, in his infinite wisdom, doesn't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Well, I know what's not happening tomorrow, and that's Constantinople. So
yeah, that's true.
Until they figure that shit out, Ether's not going anywhere. And I think actually things like 0x will help prop Ether up, but it's going to be the EOS and it's going to be the Tron once they develop and work through their technical issues that are really going to start taking over the platform space.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
But maybe Constantinople will work, and people will start making DApps other than CryptoKitties. But until there's like real DApps out there, I mean, no one. That's ultimately what matters. Where the DApp developers go. Are
Yeah.
they going to go to Ether? Are they going to go to EOS? Are they
Well,
going to?
they're all on EOS right now.
Well, some of them are. There's a lot of transactions over there, but again, that's probably because the transactional nature of how these apps work on like EOS Bet Dice and some of the other ones. So
Yeah.
but yeah, well, I'm cool to end stream here if you like. I don't know if you have anything else to add in.
No, nothing else in terms of news. I think that just about does it for me, but I'm just going to go ahead and give my typical end of stream spiel.
Yeah, shout
Um,
outs.
yes, thanks for everybody that's followed us today and, in the days leading up to the stream. Let me go ahead and just get some names pulled up here.
I got Red Rum 1993 and Finite following
Yeah,
today.
yeah, yeah. So thanks a bunch to you guys. We really appreciate you having around, and I hope you learned something useful and interesting today. You are more than welcome to join us again next time. Our stream chat doors are always open.
Yeah, or they could.
Everybody.
Yeah, or they could get in Discord.
Yeah, our Discord channel. We also have a lot of healthy discussion that goes on there. So feel free to jump in that as well. For those who have just tuned in or just followed us, we were just awarded as Twitch affiliate.
Mm-hmm.
So we are now able to accept Twitch bits as donations. And the big, and I feel the most important thing here is we are now able to receive subscribers. If you like what you see and you want more of it, just go ahead and slap that subscription button right up there somewhere. There we go. That'll help us continue delivering awesome content that you can keep tuning into twice a week, sometimes more. Who knows? We get bored and we do live trading sometimes. So tune in for that as well. And another big thing about subscription, if you are a Amazon Prime member,
Yep.
And you used your email that you used to create your Amazon Prime account to create your Twitch account, you are given the excellent status of Twitch Prime, which means you get one free subscription per month, and it's not going to cost you anything to subscribe to us, and it helps us out. It helps us grow and get more higher quality equipment and content going for you guys. So consider that if you like what you see. But yeah, other than that, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Minds. We're all over the place and pretty active on all of them. So look for us there. And as always, a big shout out to our stream partner, Rex, aka the CEO of Doge. He is the owner of Borkchain Inc., a spectacular t-shirt meme designer. He's been kind enough to partner with us and provide us with some materials to demo. There are some shirts that we wore from him on a previous stream. And also, don't feel like your money's going to waste by buying products from him, because a portion of the proceeds do go to animal rescue programs all over the U.S., so it's going to be money well spent. So show your enthusiasm for the bull run of Q4 2018. Buy one of these awesome shirts and help a guy out. He'll appreciate it. We'll appreciate it as well. And I know for certain, you wearing it, you're going to love it. The material is great. It's high quality cotton. And
oh yeah,
super comfortable to wear.
Very comfortable. You're repping, some sweet Dogecoin memes or some HODL gang memes or, something like that. But, HODL, what up?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've got my Crashing Titanic shirt, which I just love.
I got my BitConnect.
Yeah, BitConnect. What's up? So yeah, BitConnect, super dank. But overall, I have to say, one of the more well-rounded individuals I've met. Rex, has not just a full-time job, but runs his t-shirt business is active with his Facebook group, which you can get to on his website. And you can also see some of our developments there on that page as well, which links over to our BlockTalk page on Facebook.
Yep, absolutely. We're very present, very active on both. So stop by, say hello, leave us a comment, tell us we're stupid, do whatever. Just take a look at our page.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, I think that's going to dial it down for stream. Until next time. So we'll be streaming it on Thursday, and we'll have some new and exciting demos, because Thursday seems to be our demo day, so we'll do some demos.
Yeah, that works for me. See everybody on Thursday.
All right. See you guys. Have
Later.
a good day trading.
Yep. Use those stop losses.